Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Parasol Stars. The oft-forgotten third Bubble Bobble game has finally got a re-release. Is it worth busting out the umbrella? Let's find out. Parasol Stars, the story of Bubble Bobble 3, is the third and final game in the Bubble Bobble trilogy, and is an oddity, as this time around the game actually never released in arcades and instead was a TurboGrafx game, later released on NES and Game Boy. Parasol Stars leans more heavily on its Bubble Bobble roots than Rainbow Islands did, with each stage again being focused around killing all enemies to continue. However, since bubbles are no longer in vogue, you are now armed with a mighty umbrella to deal with baddies. Regular enemies can be simply grabbed by the umbrella and tossed into each other to kill them, spawning food on their death, but bigger enemies can't be grabbed right away and require more hits to be tossable. Tossing can also reveal hidden items, of which there's tons scattered throughout every level. Combat really evolves with the new drip system, however. Drips will often spawn ad nauseum in a level, each with an associated element. Gather enough drops on the top of your umbrella, and you'll get to do an elemental power hit with them, similar to elemental bubbles in Bubble Bobble. Lightning pierces horizontally, fire burns the ground, and water sweeps enemies and allies away. You can also jump on drops for some necessary tech in later levels. Your umbrella can not only grab people, but can deflect projectiles, and can be held either forward or directly up. And when fighting bosses, you'll gain elemental bottles that will let you charge respective elemental powers without the drips. Bosses are generally pretty easy regardless, though some like the UFO are kind of BS. There's also special cards to grab that, should you get a full set, grant either one up or often screen clearing attacks. And you have to get a certain arrangement a set number of times in order to unlock the true ending. Unlike Bubble Bobble, screens are now larger than the monitor, often scrolling left or right for more expansive playfields. Similar to Bubble Bobble, dropping off the bottom will land you at the top, and as the game goes on, it becomes less combat oriented and more puzzle focused as stages get trickier. It's worth mentioning Parasol Stars is much easier than any of the previous Bubble Bobble games, especially with this re-release where you have 99 credits, and gets even more easy if you have a buddy to play with. And that is Parasol Stars, a long lost threequel that dodged the arcade, but is finally back on modern systems, complete with co-op and its bright and colorful aesthetic. So what do I like about Parasol Stars? Well, unlike Rainbow Island, Parasol Stars returns to being extremely easy to pick up and play, as well as understanding its core mechanics and how to succeed. Its easier difficulty also helps with this. Additionally, like Bubble Bobble, this game absolutely rules in co-op, with the ability to not only work together to make things more fun, but being able to toss your ally at enemies and power-ups is some secret tech. And lastly, this is a fantastic conversion, with both an enhanced mode with save states and rewinds but no trophies, and a classic arcade version with 99 credits. There's also a true arcade version with only 1 credit for those true umbrella fiends, and emulation across the whole thing is excellent. When it comes to the bad, getting the true ending is much more annoying this time around, with needing to get 3 of those star cards over the course of the game. This also unlocks the bonus levels, which are a lot more fun, so it sucks if you miss out. Additionally, while being more accessible is nice, this game is a bit too much like Bubble Bobble in a lot of ways, making it feel less like a true evolution and more like some kind of tangential experience. And lastly, some of the later levels, much like in Bubble Bobble, are absolute BS in single player, with enemy spawns being overly harsh and the amount of projectiles and platforming achieving peak frustration. As you know, I rate games on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, and don't bother. And Parasol Stars is an incredibly fun little game. Like Bubble Bobble, its premise is simple but grows in complexity as you master its mechanics, and it's just unfiltered fun with another player. While it may lean a little too much into Bubble Bobble for some of its ideas, and the latter areas have frustrating difficulty spikes, it's absolutely worth grabbing in this re-release if you have any affinity for Bubble Bobble at all, or just a friend you like playing games with. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you played or even heard of Parasol Stars, do you enjoy the Bubble Bobble games? Please let me know what you think in the comments, but regardless, grab a buddy, grab some umbrellas, and go out there and play some Parasol Stars.